Okay, let's unpack this. We are dropping straight into the epicenter of soap opera drama, specifically on Bold and the Beautiful,
Right.
where character trajectories, they shift faster than light and, well, emotional whiplash is pretty much guaranteed.
Absolutely.
We're talking about Dr. Taylor Hayes, who, after decades of fighting, waiting, and hoping, just received the swiftest, most brutal betrayal imaginable. From Ridge Forrester, of course.
The speed of this plot twist is almost a character unto itself, isn't it?
It really is.
It's not just a breakup. It's an immediate, public, and pretty shocking erasure of her relationship.
Yeah.
So our mission today is a deep dive into the official spoilers and, the juiciest fan speculation. We are analyzing the available pool of eligible bachelors.
Right. Who's out there?
Exactly. To determine who is truly positioned to be Taylor's next partner, and maybe more importantly, what kind of historical baggage that choice will strap on to her next chapter.
We definitely have to set the stage first with the immediate crisis. The sources confirm Ridge didn't just break off his engagement to Taylor. He executed like a scorched earth policy. He ran right over to Forrester Creations and proposed to Brooke Logan, skipped any kind of cooling off period, any reflection, any time at all for Taylor to process the loss.
It was instantaneous. I mean, the sources detail this lightning-fast reunion perfectly. They note that Ridge grabbed a huge, sparkling diamond off a tray.
Off a tray, like it was catering.
Pretty much, like he was just sitting there waiting.
Yeah.
And slapped it onto Brooke's finger. Then, when Carter Walton just happened to stroll in...
Perfect timing.
Right. Ridge asked him to officiate the wedding on the spot.
Wow.
They literally went from broken up to engaged to happily hitched in what moments?
Makes you wonder if Taylor had even driven out of the driveway yet. Seriously.
Exactly.
It's the ultimate disrespect, and you really have to ask.
Yeah.
Was this plot mechanism designed to finally, permanently push Taylor away from Ridge?
It feels like it might be.
She was already crushed just by the engagement breaking off. But finding out Ridge said vows with Brooke so quickly, I mean, treating their decades-long saga like a temporary distraction, that's going to be absolutely horrifying to her.
It makes the betrayal feel, I don't know, profoundly targeted, almost cruel.
Yeah, cruel is the word.
Exactly. And the audience is keenly aware that Taylor has been through this exact cycle so many times before,
Oh, constantly.
She has sacrificed, she has moved away, she has returned, always hoping Ridge would finally commit.
Always hoping.
The sources suggest this betrayal is so decisive, so quickly executed, that maybe the audience should finally believe that the Ridge-Taylor-Brooke triangle is settled. At least for now.
Well, for now is always the key phrase in soaps, isn't it?
True. But this time, Taylor seems to be taking control of her narrative, which I think is the key to her next chapter.
Okay.
Despite this crushing blow and how dirty Ridge has treated her, she has made a very important vow.
Which is?
She will not run off and leave L.A.
Oh, okay, that's different.
Yeah. She's staying put to face the consequences, to maintain her life, and, well, frankly, maybe to seek revenge.
Okay, that's the pivotal piece then. Because it sets up the next act, doesn't it?
Exactly. This isn't just about sticking around to sulk. The official fall spoilers confirm this disastrous ending will send Taylor in a new direction with somebody else.
A new direction. Okay.
The show is explicitly hoping that fans will embrace this new start. So the writers are signaling to the audience, look, this is Taylor's opportunity to learn her lesson, that Ridge will never quit Brooke.
Finally.
Maybe finally, and move into a truly independent story. So the question isn't if she'll rebound, but who will define this new direction?
Agreed. She cannot ever trust Ridge again after this. I mean, she just can't.
Right.
She has to find a relationship that isn't shadowed by the gravitational pull of that triangle.
Right.
So let's move immediately from the heartbreak drama to the tangible possibilities.
Yeah.
Right there on the canvas. We are now diving into the on-screen prospects, the immediate rebound pool. And let's start with, well, the king of chaos himself, candidate 1, Dollar Bill Spencer.
Dollar Bill. Absolutely on-screen, single, and definitely needs a woman.
He always needs a woman.
Pretty much. And, of course, the historical context is something that, well, it only works in soap operas. Taylor shot him a few years ago.
Wait. The sources are seriously suggesting that a relationship born from an attempted murder, where Taylor shot Bill in the back, no less, is viable.
Yes.
Doesn't that risk turning Taylor into, I don't know, a villain? Or making Bill look completely foolish.
That is the glorious absurdity of Bold and the Beautiful. It's
Yeah.
a bullet in the back against the prospect of new love.
Right, just a flesh wound.
Exactly. That's their meet cute. They have a deep, if extremely bizarre, emotional connection because of that secret and, the intense drama surrounding it.
Okay, the history is certainly there, I'll give you that.
And the heat would be instantaneous, probably because Bill enjoys chaos and, well, danger.
They could certainly be fun together, I suppose. But we have to acknowledge Bill's recent activity. He's had some truly questionable recent entanglements.
Oh, definitely.
That awful thing with Poppy, where he was being manipulated.
Right.
And then that really creepy thing where Luna was trying to hook up with him. It makes him look perpetually available, but also, I don't know, slightly pathetic.
True. That was weird. But pairing Taylor and Bill comes with a gigantic, delicious narrative bonus.
Which is?
Ridge despises Bill.
Ah, yes. That's the revenge factor dialed up to 11.
Totally.
This pairing would drive him nuts. It serves as a big bonus for Taylor right now when she's feeling heartbroken and betrayed.
Absolutely.
It would be Taylor choosing chaos and maybe spite over dignity,
Mm-hmm.
but it would undeniably get Ridge's attention and make him suffer,
Mm-hmm.
which is probably exactly what she wants right now.
However, there's a major roadblock here. That makes Bill maybe a shaky prospect for a long-term storyline.
Okay.
Other sources suggest Bill and Katie Logan may reconcile.
Oh, right. Bill and Katie again.
Yeah. The whole Will and Luna and that whole crisis, which involves Bill needing to step up as a father and deal with all the complexities of his family.
That's bound to bring them closer.
Reportedly, yes. It's set to bring Katie and Bill closer. So Taylor, with Bill having a genuine lasting romance, it might be a long shot.
Because Bill's priority seems to be maybe family stability right now.
Yeah.
And Taylor, well, she represents high voltage instability, especially with Bill.
Exactly. She's not exactly stable ground for him right now.
Okay. So Bill offers immediate revenge, immediate drama, but at the high cost of potential emotional chaos and almost certain failure, because Katie's always there pulling him back.
Seems like it.
All right. So if Bill is potentially tied up with family matters, let's pivot. Second option, candidate 2. Deacon Sharp.
Deacon.
He's a good age prospect, currently on screen, and brings a different kind of rivalry to the table.
Deacon is absolutely in the immediate pool, yes. But like Bill, he's currently entangled. He needs to become single first.
Right. He's with Sheila Carter.
He is. But the sources point to a highly likely, probably imminent split.
And the reason for this split sounds profoundly serious, even for a soap. Why would Deacon finally dump Sheila, this time for real?
Well, it comes down to betrayal surrounding Luna, specifically because Luna murdered 2 of his best friends.
Right, Steffi and Finn, well, supposedly murdered Finn.
Right, supposedly. And Sheila has been lying to Deacon about helping hide Luna. Deacon will be furious.
Yeah, I bet.
Because this isn't just a small lie to protect herself. It's a lie that compromises his moral stance regarding the deaths of 2 people he, cared about deeply.
And this is a pattern for Sheila, isn't it? This is the second major lie she's been caught in regarding Luna.
Exactly. Deacon already let it slide once when Sheila was lying about having contact with Luna right before she went on that tragic shooting spree.
Okay.
The sources confirm that this current lying to help a murderer hide might push Deacon over the edge. Finally leaving him single, looking for a rebound.
And maybe desperate for a woman who represents stability, something Taylor could offer, ironically.
Right. Maybe. After Sheila, Taylor might look like the picture of sanity.
And if they pair up, that also comes with a revenge bonus. But this time it's directed squarely at Brooke.
Mm-hmm.
The sources suggest it might drive Brooke nuts if Taylor was romancing Brooke's ex-husband and the father of her daughter, Hope.
Oh, Brooke would hate that. And what's fascinating here is the history, or maybe the lack of history, between Deacon and Taylor specifically.
How so?
Deacon is one of the few men that Brooke's been with who hasn't also hooked up with Taylor.
Oh, that's actually true. Wow.
Yeah. It provides a unique dynamic.
Mhm.
It avoids the typical triangle trap where the women are fighting over the same current partner, Ridge, Nick, Bill, Thorne, Grant, whoever.
Right. It's not the same old playbook.
This would be a competition over an ex-partner, giving the rivalry a fresh, if maybe slightly manufactured angle.
Okay.
It doesn't put Taylor in Ridge's shadow. It puts her in Brooke's rearview mirror, which is different.
That's a great distinction. It shifts the focus from who Ridge loves to who Taylor can maybe steal from Brooke's past. Interesting. Okay, now for the third prospect, candidate 3, who the sources tag as a highly unlikely long shot. Carter or Walton.
Ah, Carter, yes. The perpetual romantic target always seems to be available when someone's relationship ends.
He's on-screen, successful, handsome, but he is currently engaged to Hope Logan.
Right, but the path to singleness exists because Hope is continually torn between Liam and Carter, which is a whole other saga we don't have time for today.
Sure.
So if Hope inevitably breaks off their engagement, Carter is free. And he'd probably be looking for a rebound partner pretty quickly to soothe his wounded ego.
Okay, makes sense.
But
why are the sources so emphatic that he is a long shot for Taylor specifically? Why would she, a woman of Taylor's status and recent trauma, even consider chasing a man so much younger and apparently so heavily contested?
well, this is where the character canvas gets a bit tight, maybe. The biggest reason he is a long shot, according to the sources, is the established fierce competition for Carter's affection.
Ah,
And that competition is Daphne Rose.
Daphne Rose. Okay, that name sounds perfectly poised for a soap rivalry. What's her deal? What's the narrative function here?
The source describes Daphne Rose as already ready, willing, and barely waiting for Carter to lose hope so that Daphne can get her sweet-smelling hands all over him.
Wow, okay. Subtle.
Yeah, Daphne has clearly been waiting in the wings, and she sounds aggressive. She represents the immediate, low-hanging fruit for Carter if he becomes single.
Right.
Taylor, having just been completely humiliated and crushed by Ridge, is likely not in the mood for an arduous, high-stakes fight for an already contested man,
Right.
especially not a rebound guy.
So if Carter becomes single, he basically walks straight into Daphne's arms, who has been openly waiting.
Seems like it.
Taylor would have to fight a motivated rival for a rebound guy who just lost hope. And Taylor, being the good doctor, should probably know better than to use a rebound to soothe her trauma, right?
You'd think so. It seems the writing is designed to keep Carter sort of unavailable for the major lead heroines unless they are truly, truly desperate.
Okay.
Exactly. So the immediate on-screen options are either tied up with family drama, like Bill,
Right.
dealing with a sociopathic ex-fiancé, like Deacon,
Hmm.
or being aggressively stalked by a rival, like Carter.
Not great options then.
Not ideal. This situation forces us to acknowledge a crucial point. If the writers want a truly compelling long-term romance for Taylor, they might need to look off the current canvas.
That moves us perfectly into our next section then. Off-screen returns. Leveraging history for a new start.
Exactly.
Since the immediate pool is shallow or, let's say, deeply compromised, as we just established,
Yeah.
reviving a character who knows Taylor's complex history is a common strategy in soaps, and often effective.
Yeah, the goal here isn't just to pair Taylor off quickly. It's to find someone who can credibly believe she is finally done with Ridge.
And that credibility often comes from sharing history with her, right? Seeing the pattern themselves.
Exactly, they've seen it before.
Okay, let's start with candidate 4, Thorne Forrester, the familiar path. He's considered amazing to come back and romance Taylor. He represents, maybe, the road not taken.
Thorne is such an interesting foil for Taylor. Their history is deep, dating back on and off, starting in the late 1990s.
Right.
The appeal of Thorne is that he loved Taylor when she was constantly chasing Ridge. He represented stability, devotion, maybe a drama-free future that she always kind of foolishly rejected back then.
And their dramatic origin story is pure high-stakes soap opera gold.
Oh, yeah.
Taylor first got with Thorne after she called off another wedding to Ridge again, because Ridge tried to break up Brooke's wedding, this time to Grant Chambers. It was the perpetual cycle, wasn't it? Taylor being hurt by Ridge's devotion to Brooke.
Always. And Taylor was furious, drunk, emotionally devastated. She stumbled, fell down, her house caught on fire.
As houses do.
Right. And Thorne, conveniently showing up at the perfect moment, saved her life. That incident, the near-death experience, the rescue, that was the bridge. It transitioned them from friends who shared a common frustration, Ridge's behavior, to actually dating. Thorne offered her shelter and, genuine affection.
But the reason it failed before is the reason pretty much every man in Taylor's orbit, maybe save for Jack Finnegan, has suffered.
Yeah.
Thorne fell deeply in love, but Taylor was still in love with Ridge.
Always Ridge.
Her heart always belonged to Ridge, and she always wound up going back to him, which Thorne, understandably, just couldn't deal with.
It was emotionally devastating for Thorne. Can you imagine committing yourself fully to someone who always has one eye on the past, on someone else? Thorne couldn't be second best, and Taylor couldn't give him the commitment he deserved. The dramatic tension was always that Thorne represented emotional health, stability, and Taylor kept choosing the toxic dramatic path with Ridge.
Okay, so why would this time be different? We have seen Taylor swear off Ridge a dozen times before. Can Taylor really change? Haven't we seen this lesson learned cycle fail countless times? What evidence do the spoilers offer that this change is permanent?
Well, the only truly compelling evidence is the speed and the magnitude of Ridge's cruelty this time.
The sheer brutality of it.
Exactly. The sources strongly suggest that because Brooke and Ridge are getting married almost instantly, a move designed to utterly sever any remaining hope, Taylor might finally have learned her lesson. She might finally realize she cannot ever trust Ridge.
Maybe.
That level of decisive betrayal, more than any argument or fight they've had before, might allow Thorne and Taylor a new shot at romance, maybe free of the immediate shadow of the triangle, because the triangle is, narratively speaking, over. For now.
The ultimate redemption arc for Thorne would be coming back and finally being chosen first, wouldn't it?
It really would.
Okay.
Yeah.
But let's move to the most controversial option on the list. Candidate 5, Rick Forrester.
Oh, boy.
Rick?
This choice caused spectacular family fallout the first time around. Makes it a potentially explosive option for a comeback.
It definitely did. There's interest, apparently, in having Jacob Young or maybe even another actor return to the role, but the history here is deeply, deeply awkward. Taboo, even.
Why? Remind us.
Because Rick once dated Taylor's now-dead daughter, Phoebe Forrester, Steffi's twin sister.
Right. That creates a multi-generational dating web that would be difficult for any family to navigate, let alone the Forresters and Logans.
Understatement. And Rick and Taylor got together when they were both highly vulnerable, right? It was comfort found in shared sadness.
Classic rebound.
Precisely. Phoebe had broken up with Rick and left L.A. At the same time, Taylor and Nick Moran had just broken up. So Taylor was depressed, Rick was upset, and they found refuge in each other's grief. They became close, and the sources confirm they wound up falling in love.
But when Phoebe came back, she was horrified.
Yeah.
Finding out Rick had moved on with her mother, Taylor, that must have been an unimaginable shock for a daughter.
And the conflict didn't stop there. Equally important was the reaction of Rick's mother, Brooke.
Of course, Brooke.
She was furious because Taylor is Brooke's worst enemy and chief rival.
Boys.
It set up this spectacular, multi-generational war where the two main rivals were fighting over a man who used to date his mother's rival's daughter.
Wow, say that 5 times fast.
Right. It was conflict layered upon conflict. And it was glorious soap opera viewing, you have to admit.
Okay, so even though Phoebe eventually gave her blessing, apparently Taylor and Rick broke up anyway. The pressure was likely just too great. But the speculation is that if Rick came back to L.A., the sources suggest they could spark again, reviving that deep controversy.
It's certainly a high-risk, high-reward option for the writers if they want immediate conflict and a huge backlash to Ridge's quick marriage. It hits all the buttons.
But it reinforces that pattern we keep observing, doesn't it?
How so?
Taylor's potential choices often involve someone her rival, Brooke, is also deeply connected to, whether it's Brooke's ex-husband Deacon, Bill who Brooke was married to, or even Brooke's son, Rick.
That's true. It keeps the energy focused squarely on the rivalry, which is the exact pattern the audience, and probably Taylor herself, is tired of seeing her fall into.
Yeah.
The sources are implicitly asking, will Taylor ever choose a man solely for herself, not connected to Brooke or Ridge?
That is the ultimate synthesis of this entire analysis, isn't it? If we look at the immediate on-screen prospects, Bill, Deacon, Carter, and the historical returns Thorne, Rick, the core challenge remains the same. There are just not a lot of eligible bachelors on the character canvas for Taylor's promised new romance who don't bring immediate, exhausting baggage.
Yeah, the pool is surprisingly shallow when you rule out the ones connected to the main triangle. Every option we've discussed, Bill, Deacon, Thorne, Rick, either carries history with Taylor's daughter, history with Ridge, or history with Brooke.
Always connected.
They are all tethered to the gravitational pull of that central triangle, ensuring Taylor remains defined by her rivalry. For Taylor to truly grow, she needs a partner who is completely unburdened by this legacy.
Which brings us to the most intriguing idea, maybe the only truly viable plot twist, the honorable mention, or perhaps the real game changer. Jack Finnegan.
Ah, Jack, yes. This is truly the game changer, and the sources seem strongly interested in this option. The proposal is to bring back Jack Finnegan, Finn's complicated father who is currently off-screen.
Played by Ted King.
Right. The sources mention loving the actor and wanting him back in L.A.
Okay, why is this option so fundamentally important, beyond simply introducing a new face, or a relatively newer face? Because Jack is not a legacy character in the same way the others are, is he?
Precisely. This pairing is considered important because Jack is somebody Taylor's never been with, and crucially, he is somebody that Brooke has never been with.
Okay, that second point, that feels huge.
We can't overstate the significance of that second point. It's massive.
That is the ultimate reset button. It breaks the cycle entirely. If they pursue Jack, the writers are signaling a genuine commitment to creating a new story for Taylor, one that doesn't rely on the old rivalries for its tension.
Exactly. It eliminates the potential for automatic triangulation with Brooke, which has defined Taylor's romantic life for decades.
Yeah.
If Taylor were to pair up with Jack, the relationship would be defined by them, by the complex issue of their son, Finn, and the legacy of Sheila Carter, who Jack also has history with.
But not by the shadow of Ridge or Brooke.
Exactly. The sources call this option phenomenal and absolutely a game changer, precisely because it suggests a truly fresh, independent direction for Taylor's character, one that doesn't rely on rivalry or revenge. It would be, like you said earlier, neutral ground.
So what does this all mean for the future of Taylor Hayes? She's been dealt this shocking blow. Her next relationship, it seems, will be driven by one of two core forces.
Right.
Revenge, by choosing Bill, Deacon, or even Rick to punish Ridge or Brooke. Or a genuine fresh start, potentially with Thorne, who represents redemption of the past, maybe making a healthier choice this time. Or the true wild card, Jack Finnegan, who represents a completely blank slate, romantically speaking anyway.
The stakes are incredibly high for the show itself, I think. If they choose the revenge route, yeah, they entertain the audience temporarily, but they risk keeping Taylor stunted in her progress, perpetually circling the same drain.
Right. Back to square one.
But if they choose a true fresh start, especially with someone like Jack, they signal that Taylor is finally definitively learning the lesson, that she cannot ever trust Ridge to stay away from Brooke, and that she deserves a life free of that constant drama.
Okay, so here's where it gets really interesting for you, the loyal viewer listening right now.
Yeah.
Because this touches on the core identity of Taylor Hayes as a character.
Yeah.
We've seen Taylor and Brooke share men for literally decades. It's the bedrock of the show in many ways.
Okay.
We've established that the Jack Finnegan option is considered the most phenomenal, specifically because he has no history with her rival, Brooke.
Right. That's its main selling point narratively.
So given that long history of Taylor and Brooke sharing men, what does it truly mean for Taylor's character if her most promising, most phenomenal romantic option is defined specifically by the fact that he has no history with her rival? Does that suggest Taylor's identity is still maybe hopelessly entangled with Brooke, even when she's trying to move on? Or is this the only logical way for Taylor to finally achieve genuine emotional independence?
That's a fantastic question. Is freedom defined only by the absence of the rival?
Something to mull over as we watch the drama unfold.
Yeah,